So are you ladies ready to rock?
You betcha. We are.
Okay, so let's consider this the beginning of the webinar. So thank you for those of you who are already logged in and attending. I believe this will be recorded. I believe it will be posted by Sandra. I'm not sure where, but I'm sure the gals here will update you all so that you can share it and watch it at a later date or a more convenient time. That's the beauty of these online webinars. My name is Mike. I work for Community Futures. I'm office mates with Sandra Milne at Apex. Sandra and Apex are putting on these webinars and Facebook Lives and such. And today she has lined up Being Human Services to do a webinar on true colors and personality dimensions and selling to those personality traits. Right, Peggy?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got in that screen, in that tile, you've got Sandy on your left and Peggy on your right, and they're going to be your presenters. And below you've got Marcie. If you can see Marcie, she's muted. She's going to be your moderator, and I think she's going to be managing your questions. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you open up your chat function on the bottom of your screen, make sure you switch your chat. At the bottom it says to. Make sure you change that drop-down menu to all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, Marcie may miss your questions and they may not get to Sandy and Peggy. I understand they're going to go section by section and they're going to open up a Q&A at the end of each section. So with having said that, I am going to give the floor over to the ladies and duck out of speaker and microphone. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, good morning, everybody. So I'm Peggy from Being Human Services. Pam Wagner and I became partners around 2013. And then we started having our staff and brought everybody on. Prior to that, Pam was actually my boss at Community Employment Services for quite a few years. And I worked there for quite a while. And then I went and worked at home-based, which didn't work well, so that's why we ended up Being Human Services. So Being Human Services is always evolving. We do HR, we do training for unemployed Albertans, resume writing, many numerous things. My history, I have been facilitating over 30 years. I'm proud of that. I know people are like, oh, tell your age. I'm okay with that. So this is actually my first tool I used was True Colors. Now we have the Canadian version, Personality Dimensions. So it's not an exact science, obviously, but I think it's a really useful tool for internal, external customer service or just anybody you're with every day. So I'm going to have Sandy introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I work here at Being Human Services. I've been here for about 5 years. I took about a year off and I managed a spa. Before that, I was a teacher for a very long time. Taught pretty much all ages, specialized in early childhood high needs. And then I transitioned into nonprofit sector, and then I came here about 5 years ago. So my role here is sales and marketing, trying to help people in general know what Being Human Services does. Like Peggy said, this is a time for change for everyone. COVID, I mean, 6 months ago, if somebody would have told us what our lives were looking like right now, I don't think anybody would have even believed them.
No.
But this whole thing with colors actually has been truthfully life-changing in terms of allowing me to understand myself. And with customer service, that's so important, being able to quickly recognize the things that are important to them, how you should talk to them so that they're receptive, all those kinds of things. So I'm super excited. I would encourage you, if you have any questions, please put them up. You know, if we want to talk about it further afterwards, great. The phone number, the business is here. And yeah, so Marcie, you want to introduce yourself now?
Hi, I'm Marcie. I've been with Being Human Services for just over a year and a half, so I guess I'm still a newbie. I wear many hats here, so I do admin work, so you'll see me at the front desk sometimes. I do social media, I do website updates, I do case management, working with clients, helping them gain employment, and whatever other hats they need me to wear.
And we appreciate that.
That's
Absolutely. Okay, so the process we're going to go through today is I'll give you some introduction to type. We'll look at a little bit of history. The goal that you want to, it's a dual goal really. And again, one of the words they often use is understanding, and I remove that, and I use respecting individuals and differences, and then really appreciating the richness offered by diversity. So I know a lot of times people are irritated, bothered by others, frustrated. Why do you do that? Why can't you be different? And the idea is to really recognize that it's innate what we are, and asking people to change doesn't work. So again, normally there's a process of an assessment, which we don't have here. However, we can talk about in the end if you want an assessment or a group, we can absolutely do that. And then we'll debrief. And as I said, as we go through, Marcie, if there's questions, we'll go to that. So, moving on. So if you look at people's differences, and again, one of the things, I'm going to give you a first example before I talk about this.
I love this example.
Yeah, but the 4 colors coming into work in the morning. So the goals are consistently early. They come in, they want to prepare and plan ahead. That's just their nature. In comes the blues. How are you? How's grandma? How's the weekend? Harmony. Then the green comes in, maybe says good morning, maybe goes to their office, closes the door. The blues are like, what's wrong? And the green's
Why
like,
are you mad at me?
yeah, the green's like, nothing unless you keep asking that. 1 minute to 9, the orange walks in and they're like, well, you could have came earlier. And the orange is like, why? What did I miss? So
You started 9, I'm early.
yeah, exactly. So it feels like people are doing that to irritate you, but that's not the case. They don't even know it bothers you unless you tell them. So the other example I have is how we wish people were different. So Pat wishes her coworker Sue pay more attention to time management. Sue wishes Pat would not get it also working 5 minutes late. Like, what's the big deal? Chris is quick to notice people's feelings and tries to set up arguments, not to offend anybody. And I'm Jan. I like to debate and explain things. I'm totally unaware that people hurt their feelings. Now, in saying that, that's changed. I have become aware when I see people's body language that it does affect them. So that's the idea behind this tool, is to start recognizing that my style works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. So how do we interact better? Okay, so what is type? Well, it's your mental habits. And I believe, if we go back in time, from the age of 3, I wanted to run my own life. I'm independent. I don't like to be told what to do. Ironically, I came back from Vegas. I was under self-isolation. And once it was over, I still didn't go anywhere, but I just felt better because nobody was telling me I couldn't. Yeah. So it's what you care about and how you decide things. And like I said, it comes right from young. Okay? It's deep, when things go wrong in your life, you're like, I'm done, I'm changing. And then you come back and you're exactly who you were. Because it's like grain of wood. If you sand that wood down, you're going to find that grain runs all the way through. So when you're free, when you know who you are, you're free to be who you're not. And that's where, especially in sales, when you're selling something, if you recognize their style, you may need to change how your behavior is to succeed. Okay, so it doesn't explain everything. Now, we are unique. Sandi talked a little bit in the beginning. That's a good point. This is not about putting people in a box. I like to look at it as a platform of stepping up to get to know yourself better. So the first time I did this, I typed wrong, and I needed to get to know myself better so that I could understand or accept others better. So we are unique. We do have common skills, and it can vary. If you've done jobs that you've learned a skill in, but you still hate. So Sandi went to a bank for a while, and you learned skill, right?
I did. I definitely did. It was when I left the spa, before I came back to Being Human Services, I worked for a bank here in town. And truth be told, as far as the people, they were absolutely the most wonderful, wonderful people, amazing team, patient. But I'm a people person. And so when it came time to being that teller, and I had to look and make sure all of the details, the pressure I felt was huge, that I couldn't make a mistake. And I had to focus so hard on the check, making sure that the date was right and the signature matched and this and this and this, that I wasn't able to engage with the people. And that's not my strength. And so it was really, really difficult. It was really challenging, but I'll tell you, I learned a lot about myself going through that.
You could have learned the skill, however, it's not one you want to use. So and we've seen that after working with unemployed Albertans for 20 some years, people will come in and they'll have that skill, but they don't want to use it because it's difficult and it's hard. So type has many uses. Again, the most important is to understand self. You need to understand yourself or you will identify everybody wrong. Then you want to really have that appreciation for others. Improving communication, and I'll go through that today. Words mean different things. You may have a conflict that's been going on a long time. At the end of today, you might go, oh, that's not really a conflict. That's just the way it's going to be. I'll help you with problem solving, decision making, implementing management, change, organizational change, and recognizing how we manage stress. Many uses. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's user friendly. You can almost use it today. Use it today.
You'll be able to, even with your kids, your spouse, things like that, you'll start to recognize things. And it's all encompassing. You can, like you said, so many uses.
Yeah, and it's a process of discovery. I'm not actually going to teach you anything new. You're just going to go, oh yeah, that's why. So over the years, Being Human Services has done programming. And one of the things we did was an over 50 program. And I remember saying, why would we do that? And we do also have FYI that also helps you look at where you want your career to go. And then I realized I was wrong again, because when life's going well and you're going to work and you had your kids, you got to school, educated, whatever you did, we kind of forget who we are. So parents, I'll see that in parents. They believe their goal because they need to be, but that's not truly who they are. So they began with Carl Jung's theory. We pretend to be someone so long we forget who we are. And I think the next statement is really important because I see it and I'm confused by it still. But often what irritates us can be our own behaviors. So say people, when they're complaining about somebody else, I'm like, do you know you do that? So what irritates us about others, both ways, can either lead us to understand that we're different or that, oh my God, I have that behavior. The second theory is Myers-Briggs, and you'll see it here, a great tool. Now this is broken into 16 types, but you'll also see it represents the colors. Okay, so it's just that model broken down. Myers-Briggs looks at introvert and extrovert and where we get our energy. Tons of misunderstanding about that. Crazy. Massive. Yeah, massive misunderstanding. I'm absolutely an extrovert, but boy, give me a weekend alone, I'm doing the happy dance. Like, yay! So it's not just about that, it's about where we get our energy, sensing and intuitive, how we process information, thinking or feeling, how we make our decisions, and then judging or perceiving is how we organize our lives. So quite in depth, we also offer that here. If you're interested in that one as well, at the end, you can give us a shout and let us know. The last one that for the research is David Kersey, and Please Understand Me is the book he put out there. And what I like about his theory is that this is not an excuse for bad behavior. Our brain is a computer which has temperament for hardware and character for software. So in other words, I can always update my software. I buy, and actually you do your hardware too, but I buy a computer, that's who I am. I update my software, I learn more about myself, and again, I modify my behaviors to work better with others without changing who I am. And he talks about temperaments inborn. I believe that I've given the example of just having those things go on. And I'll hear people talk about their elderly parents. They'll be like, I can't believe it. She's 80 years old and she won't get off that ladder. Wow. You just don't want me to change. So, yeah, if you're waiting for them to change and they're 80, you might want to accept.
Yeah.
So it isn't temporary. There is always the environment, though, that can affect us as well. So True Colors was the American version, and now it's Canada came out about, 10, 15 years with their own version, and we call that personality dimensions. So to determine who we are and who others are, there's 4 basic types. So, and there's words in front of them. So there's the organized goal. That means the consistent. And I thought I took that word out, but I did this a long time ago. It's consistent because as an orange green, I am highly organized, but I am not consistent. So there's a difference. Oh, we have a different slide. I apologize, Marcie. I missed the page. Go back, Mars.
Orange.
Yeah, just totally missed it. The handwriting. So one of the exercises I do in the class is and if you guys have a pen or paper, I just have people sign their signature. So when you do that, when you sign your signature, how much thought process does it take?
You don't. It's just automatic.
Right? And maybe if you got married, there was a time where you had to interrupt.
Yep.
And then it got automatic again, right? And then I have them do it with their eyes closed. And ironically, most of them are.
Yeah, you can't tell much difference really, because like I said, it's all automatic. Your hand knows what to do by itself.
Right. That's called your greatness. Each of us has a greatness, and it's in your blind spot generally, because when you're really good at something, you don't realize that. It's the thing that people say to you, wow, I can't believe you did that. And you're like, well, it wasn't that hard. One of the things for myself is remodeling old buildings. I don't find it that difficult. I find doing my month-end books torture. Even if it's this thick, it's torture. So that natural greatness we have. Now, what happens when you do it with the other hand?
Oh, I gotta think about it. I stick my tongue out. I stick my tongue out, and then I have to think about it and plan ahead. I have to know, the A comes after the S. So yeah, it's
totally
a process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
So if you've had a job you hated, chances are you're writing with the wrong hand. Can we learn to do that? Yeah. Do you want to? Not really. I mean, if you need to pay rent and feed people, maybe you'll do it for a while, but burnout will come.
Yeah. You
will not last doing that. So, even if you go home and somebody's asking you to change, do that exercise with them. You'll find that definitely it's easier to write with your dominant. So we're going to do a little thumbs up exercise. And you got that little reaction button. Marcie, maybe you want to talk to them about their little reaction button? Marcie?
If you want to do the reactions, it's just at the bottom of your screen. You might have to move your mouse a little bit, and it's on the right-hand side under reactions.
Yeah. So when I work with a group, we actually do stand up and it'll show you how you'll share different traits with other people. So Sandi and I can put our thumbs up when it works for us, and Marcie, and just literally thumb Marcie, not the one on the screen. So thumbs up if you like an action-based, fast environment. Okay, so 2 out of 3. Thumbs up if your desk is orderly and neat consistently. Thumbs up if you get in trouble for talking too much. Thumbs up if you like a lot of private time to think in the workplace. Thumbs up if you like working with your hands. Thumbs up if you like to organize things at work.
Not so much.
Yeah, I like organizing everything.
Yeah,
I don't like that it doesn't stay though. Thumbs up if you like personal touches in your office, pictures, things like that.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I don't. I didn't even notice I didn't have family pictures in my office for years, and then somebody asked me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go get some. Thumbs up if you like problem solving.
100%.
Thumbs up if you ever went skinny dipping. That's still on my list. Thumbs up if you like to follow rules and regulations.
No.
That's, yeah, I was gonna say, because you skinny dippers, that's not legal. Thumbs up if you're comfortable with hugs and physical contact. And last one, thumbs up if you like to laugh a lot.
Double thumbs up.
So again, people will say to me, doesn't everybody? No. Ironically, you'll see we have some more serious personality types up in the top corners, and yeah, humor is not really their thing. They may have a different sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, so moving into our objectives. So we want to be able to identify in the needs of preferences of clients and customers and internals. So the people you work with are your internal customers, and we want you to have an understanding of them as well. Then finding unique ways to work better with them. The benefits people want are different, the rewards they want is different, and to recognize and accommodate the communication preferences. So I think when you're doing a sale, it's really about connecting with that person and figuring out what they need for you to get through that sale. Give an example with that, or just?
Oh, I can't really think of one off the top of my head right now.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
So then again, as I was saying when I was wrong before, I was on the wrong slide, determining who you are and others are. So the word I use is consistent goal. I just can't stress that enough. It is a consistent, traditional behavior. Now, oranges always think they're gold. And I don't like to use the word always and never, but I have never had a gold think they're orange. It's like flip. Authentic caring blues. Authentic caring blues. They're very giving, caring. Inquiry greens or resourceful oranges. Yeah, it's coming. We're working through a glass window, so it's a very different way to work. Okay, so again, those are the 4 basics, but you'll see it breaks into 16 types. Now, you might say, well, I'm all of those. And I generally say, yeah, no. 2 of them will be dominant though, okay? So 2 of them are pretty natural and 2 you'll work at. So that's actually my pie. So for me, I left home at 14 because I knew everything. Nobody could tell me anything. Not that smart anymore. I do have a 13-year-old grandson that's that smart though. I'm starting to see how that works. So anyway, because I left home that young and I was living on my own and having a heyday, I didn't develop my second dichotomy and life was very chaotic. So I'm 25 years old, I'm divorced twice, I'm in a small town on welfare, and I'm like, wow, how did I get here? And that's when I went back to medicine at college for 5 years. And that's when I developed my green. And that's what you need is a balance to really be successful. When you run in one dichotomy, it doesn't work. If you're gold in one dichotomy, you're just rules only, one way only. If you're blue, you're an emotional wreck. If you're green, you're probably locked in your basement on your computer. And if you're orange, you're probably locked in the remake. Balance is really important. So it was about 25 when I really began to develop my balance and get to know myself. And so that's accurate today. I will never be blue first, and not because of any other reason, is that I don't have what they need. I don't have the same expectations they have. And so that's just not who I'm going to be. Now, you might say, well, I'm a parent. I should be blue. Again, we all parent different, and it's not about right or wrong. And again, I just will not be consistent. It's absolutely something I've tried. You know, I'm pretty good at consistently not losing my keys now. But I'm going to guess that a gold never had to work on that.
But I think it's really important too that like a blue is all about caring and harmony. Well, an orange cares, a green cares, a gold cares. It's just how we express that too.
Yes.
That it's really important to say, well, I care about people, or I can be organized. Yeah, I mean, that's something that everybody needs in different ways in their life, but it's how it's presented. Like you say, the goals are so consistent.
Yes.
You know,
it's very easy for them.
That's right.
That's
So,
their greatness.
yeah.
My greatness is a hands-on.
Yeah.
So I'll give you some information about the 4 colors now, and then you can maybe just see if you can kind of guess. So again, the consistent goals, core needs, responsibility, belonging, responsibility, and duty. Just natural. That's what they need. They've needed that from young. So the example of that, in the classroom, and you probably did this, when the teacher would leave, guess what color you would put in charge?
Absolutely.
The goal.
One I could rely on. Follow the rules.
Absolutely, yes. Then the values for them is, key stressors, sorry. Yeah, mine doesn't come up on that. So, oh yeah, sorry. The key stressors can be disorganization and being on the outside, not feeling like they belong. So it's important for them to belong to a group. And they're the backbone. Kinsmen, Canats, all those groups, the Golds are a backbone. They value, and again, just because they value this doesn't mean others do. It just looks different. Home and family. So these are parents with rules. They contribute to society. They follow the rules and procedures. The tradition. We've done it this way. We're going to continue to do it this way.
Every Christmas, you know what you're going to eat for dinner.
That's right. Yeah. And my mom, one Christmas was complaining. And I said, well, Mom, do you want me to have Christmas? And Dad said, no, that's just part of the tradition. Complaining. Bonding relationships, commitment, and trust. And again, although we're using those words, they mean different things. And we're going to talk about that down the road later. So that is our consistent goal. Moving into the blues. As Sammy said, core need, relationships. That's what it's all about. Key stressors, guilt. They don't even have to do anything wrong and they will feel guilty. So I said to my blue husband one day, the dishwasher's not working. He said, I bought the wrong soap, didn't I? I'm like, no, nothing to do with you. It's mechanical. So they value being authentic, the human, always working with humans, always wanting to help. Harmony is really important to them. Cooperation, there are team builders at work. That personal relationship at work, at home, everywhere, and they're creative. They're good at acting, putting on the chicken suit and running around, and just got a real creativity about it.
Well, because they want to make people laugh, they want to make people feel at home. They want those relationships.
Absolutely. Okay, so I was going to ask Marcie, can you relate to that as a blue second? Some of that. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the greens, core needs and stuff, and then I'm going to let Sandy talk about that because I guess we didn't tell our colors.
No,
I didn't. Yeah. Orange.
Green. Marcie's a blue.
Orange. I'm orange and blue.
Right. Yeah, we are a combination. I'm orange green.
I'm green orange.
Yeah. So we're opposites. So core needs, knowledge, and competency. Did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I guess for me, knowledge and competency doesn't mean I have to know everything, but when I get curious about something, when somebody asks me a question, I want to know what I'm talking about. I want to know that it's based in fact. I want to know that it's not just kind of pulled out of thin air, that there's, you know, whatever it is, whether it's research, whatever. And then I want to feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel, you know, if you ask me to do a project, that I know I can do this.
And that brings us to our key stressors.
Great.
So go to the key stressors, Marcie. And it is not knowing and incompetence.
Absolutely. And you know what, it's interesting because if I feel incompetent, I will avoid it. I would rather just not do something than do it poorly. Yeah. Or in my head poorly.
Right. And greens tend to be perfectionists. If they can't do it perfect, they may not do it at all.
Yeah.
So their values, logic, clarity, process, it's scientific. not all of them are into science.
No, not at all. I'm
No.
not into science at all. What I'm into is learning why.
Yes. Yeah.
Why does that happen? Why does that work? Why doesn't it? Why can't we do this? Why? I'm like that 2-year-old kid. Why?
Do you have a lot of interest in history or a lot of knowledge in history?
Yeah, I do. I do like history, but I like it almost more in the bigger scope, right? In that, again, which is very much a green thing, the big picture, like, you know, like going through COVID and everything, how in history have we ever dealt with situations similar to this and culturally and things. So it's not necessarily scientific when we think of like chemistry and astrophysics and stuff. It's that whole why, you know, and it's interesting. And being a green too, it's funny because I think green women is the smallest population.
Yes.
Which made it really challenging for me to relate to other women, because I don't think that way. I'm logical. I you know, explain to me. I can be really mad at somebody for a minute, and then as soon as they say something that even I don't agree, I see your logic. Bam, I'm not mad anymore.
Yeah, and again, I think that's different today. Again, I was orange green growing up too, and yeah, being raised in an environment where women and men had much more defined roles,
Yeah.
it was difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had said to Mike earlier that it's not about gender, it's about type, and we're just becoming more into that and recognizing that. So yeah, they have a lot of history. They're intelligent and facts and data. And again, we're going to give you more on all of these as we continue on. So last one is, of the 4 types, is orange. So core needs freedom. You're telling me what to do. I kind of laugh because, you know, somebody said to me, you have to go have fun. It's like, don't tell me what to do. So the key, the stressors are rigid boundaries, waiting. Oh my God. I really don't understand why anybody stands in a lineup, because I don't do it very rarely. Even at an event years ago, getting my food, I'm not waiting. The values are the action, variety, skills. A lot of hands-on skills, learning hands-on, having that ability to do that. I live in the here and now. And again, you know, in saying that, I did learn that I needed to look ahead at my finances. Because up to the age of 30, I live very much in the here and now. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to get older than 30. I better start doing that. Again, no, it's not natural. It's very difficult. Space and freedom to do. Just let me do it. Control my own destiny. And let's get her done. Get her done. Okay, so personality dimensions should increase your knowledge about self and others. And that's really important. So we're going to talk about how we are different. And then again, I'll have them speak. And even Marcie, I'm going to have you speak even on the orange. And then I'm going to kind of do the blue and the golds. We're missing those today. So there are traits we're born with and some we learn through life. So when we look at our differences, and I'm going to start with the golds, they're scheduled. That's important to them. I didn't know that. So one of the things when we're looking at customer service, you have an appointment with a goal and you're late, or you cancel it twice, they are probably not coming back. They want you to be that consistent person as well. As we learn and grow though, what they can learn is to be more flexible, okay? Because we all need to do that. It's our opposite. So they are scheduled in customer service. You need to recognize that. They need to recognize that they need to be a little bit flexible. Blues are very giving and they have trouble saying no. So again, my wonderful blue husband, he knows I talk about him all the time. Years ago when I met him, he would overpromise. Oh yeah, I can help you with that. I can help you with that. So when the phone would start ringing Saturday morning, he'd say to me, oh, tell them I'm not here. And I'm like, no, you tell them. So I help him learn to say no. Just don't take it on. It's okay. So Blues need to recognize that we say no, and we're okay with that. It is okay for you to say no. Okay? So Greens,
again, the independence, right? With customer service, as a customer, I want to look at it myself. If I have questions, I'll ask you. I want, so that's one thing. As a salesperson, again, because I would like independence, I want to allow my customer to have that freedom. If they need me, I'm here.
Okay. And so being that team player can be something you need to work on.
Yeah, it can be, absolutely. Because I'm independent, but I'm also orange. Orange is my second color too, right? So, but yeah, I like to just give me my job and I'll do it.
Right.
And, and as long as I feel competent though, again, it goes back to that. I need to feel like I'm going to do a good job on my level.
Yeah. Those core needs need to be met.
Yeah.
As we talk about this, those core needs are huge.
Yeah.
So oranges are high energy and often need to lead to sit and focus. I'm going to guess Marcie can totally relate to this one. So go ahead, Marcie. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. And I think it goes a lot to the waiting too. So I like to, I'm usually quite focused. If I'm going in to buy something, I'm going to get something or looking for something specifically. So I don't want to wait. So don't waste my time with other things and trying to find something similar. I usually know what I want. So I'm not typically interested if they don't have what I want, and I don't like waiting either. But I don't like them bugging me until I'm ready. So
yeah.
The people that follow me around the store are a problem for me. Like I'll leave the store.
That's true. I will too. And again, over the years, though, I've needed to learn to sit and focus on things that are important. Have you as well?
Yeah, I've definitely gotten better with that, but I think the way I accommodate that is I actually do quite a bit of research before I go in so that I don't have to mess around while I'm there.
True. Yeah, get in there. Yeah, so we are different. And again, we believe we have different purposes when we're at work or what we're doing. So goals, they believe they stabilize the organization by being dependable, sticking to business, and creating that standard operating procedure. So they're great at that. Mm-hmm. So again, they automatically go and see where we need assistance. So chances are, if you're working in any kind of sales, you're going to want that system in place before you're willing to step into things. And there's just a right way and a wrong way to them to do stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, it's a systematic approach. When they walk in somewhere, as a customer, they're going to know if there's a system in place, and they're going to want that system. Blues, on the other hand, next slide, Marcie. They believe it's important to run an organization where people have a great deal of interaction and individuals' differences are honored. So I would say Marcie's blue comes out here at work because she would prefer probably to have that conversation, right? So other types might go, why do you guys need to have chit chat? Well, for them to have that conversation and be able to connect with people is really important. Would you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. And actually, this is sort of where my blue and orange interact a little bit. I like that immediate feedback with people. I don't like waiting for the answer. So sometimes if you're sending an email or the person I want to talk to isn't available, I kind of like that immediate answer. So I'm much more likely to walk down the hall and ask for an answer. So it kind of goes a little bit with my blue and my orange because I want that personal interaction, and I also don't want to wait.
I would agree. If you send me an email, well, actually, I said to Sandi the other day, she was sending, I said, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just sending Kelly an email. I'm like, why? She's just down there.
Walk down the hall, Sandi.
Yeah. So again, that is the orange piece in, come on, let's do it. Let's do it now. So the greens, they're terrific problem solvers and welcome the challenge to come up with new creative solutions that will benefit the organization.
And feelings have no place in this. Like when I'm very focused on a problem and it's got nothing to do with you as a person. It's just like if I make a mistake, it's got no reflection on my value as a person. I see a problem and then it's like, oh, and we let's try this and let's try that. And I like to explore what works and what doesn't. That was best for everybody. So I like those challenges and it's like I said, for me, it's really difficult sometimes because I see a problem and I don't remember that some other people, that they become possessive of it and they might get offended. And that's not my intention at all. I just,
I think it's really, speaking from the orange green, I also like to solve problems. However, again, my actions first. I don't know, again, it's not connected to me.
Mm-hmm.
If I come in and you hire me to do something, and somebody else doesn't like it, that's not going to affect me because it's what you wanted and what you needed. And yeah, I don't realize that people's feelings get hurt in that scenario when it's a problem. Let's solve it.
Yeah.
It's not personal. Now, in saying that, generally, blues, anybody who's got this second or first, put a piece of themselves into what they do, so it does become personal.
It wounds them.
And that's not the way it is for the greens and the oranges. It's not personal. It's what I do. So as an orange, I definitely want short-term projects. I want to get in, I want to get out. My facilitating, my construction gives me that, and I value both. So when we look at the 4 colors and their strengths, so whether you're in the sale part of it or whether it's your customer. So for the golds, their strengths are dependability and stick to it. So they can take a project that is going to be long and drawn out and enjoy doing that. And that's the thing I think people need to realize, is that just because I hate it doesn't mean they do. You know? And at one time, because filing was an action, I had a prior manager who thought the oranges could file, so there was 2 of us. Yeah, that didn't happen. It kept growing on here, and it's like, even now I'll say to Terry, where's the holiday forms? She looks at me like we've worked together over 15 years. It's V under vacation. I'm like, oh, you call it vacation. So they have that ability to stick to tasks. And again, when they're going to purchase something from you, they're going to want to stick with you long term, but they're not going to instant buy. Then the attention to detail, right? They see what that detail is. They dot the I, they cross the T's. So again, we have 2 people who do admin here, and they're total opposites, and that's great. We have one that can roll with the punches, and we have one that likes to look at detail.
Yeah, all the quotes are done properly, the formatting, all that stuff. So again, when we're sending out to customers, it's important to have that person there because you don't necessarily know who's receiving.
Right. And I can always tell who's hiring me. I'm not sure, Sandy's been doing some marketing now, but it's gotten to a point. I can tell who's hiring me to facilitate. And the golds will call me 4 to 5 times before an event. The blues and the oranges, I might have to hunt them down. I'm like, I got no information from you. So they provide and maintain order, and again, that's stability. Okay, they're cooperative and they're willing to help, and they're cautious. They will weigh their consequences before they act.
Not super flashy.
No, pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So what are the liabilities? Resistant to change. So when they come in and you're trying to push them onto something new, they might be looking, I just want to keep what I have and keep working with that. So that narrow focus too, because they've always done it this way, and then owning what they do. So it's kind of like if a green and a gold open a company, the greens are going to keep it until they're done. Okay, Bill Gates. Like, I'm done now. Steve Jobs,
Next.
move on, right?
Next.
The gold's like, this is mine. I did this. Okay, so again, but that's tradition, hanging on to things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Marcie, are you getting any questions out there or just comments? Okay, so moving on to the blue strengths. Now, ideally, and if we lived in an ideal world, we'd be selling to each other, right? But that's just not how it works. So blues, quite different. One of the things with blues is really knowing their name. That's important.
That's huge.
Yeah, that personal thing.
Yeah.
So being quick to offer them praise and support. And again, my husband and I've done construction since our first date, 30 years ago or so. And he always wants a helper. And I don't want to be that helper. So there's usually 3 of us working together because he likes to.
I've been that helper.
Yeah, you've been that helper.
I've been that helper for Dennis.
I say almost every friend has been that helper. You want to come out, Dennis? I kind of stay out of that. So they're creative. So they're more open-minded to change and new things. Again, they facilitate personal and organized growth and development. They want to see the team grow together. As a leader, they want their team to come with them. They like joint decisions because, again, they're very natural, that team builder. And they see, promote potentials in others. They're able to see, they're always able to see the good in others. So, Marcie, got anything with that being your second one? Anything you would?
I think most of them do apply to me as well. I'm fairly even on the 2, actually. So I think it's pretty bang on that those personal relationships for me, both in work and outside of work, resonate with me. So
I think it's important too, like I'm a high green, but when I meet a blue, they just naturally make you feel good. They just, that's right, they just naturally make you feel welcome. So again, in customer service, they're the ones that welcome, come in, how can I help you? You know instantly that they'll do pretty much whatever they can to make your day better.
Yeah, and I should have commented earlier on that these 2 are how we make our decisions, and these 2 are how we organize our lives. So there's a combination there. So yes, Marcie's got the orange, which is the action. That's how she organizes her life. Get her done, go, go. But how she makes her decisions, how it affects other people. And I've seen you work with clients, and you're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They feel that warmth. They come in. They want you.
Yeah.
You know, is Marcie here? That's a
ask my
repeat.
name.
Yes. And I'm usually hiding. And then again, that's the complication of this tool. Although I'm very social and I'll help people do hard work, I'm not like what's the word I'm looking for?
The mother hen.
Yeah, I'm not a mother hen.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a mother hen.
No.
and yeah, I'll go out of my way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll help you page your house or I'll help you move, but I'm not so much going to hold your hand.
Yeah.
Medical stuff needed. So.
And I think that applies to customer service too, because I do think I am someone who will sort of go above and beyond to make you feel like you got what you needed and you're happy with the end result.
Agree.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Okay, so the weaknesses could be that they may not differentiate for what you hear and what you say. And I definitely again see this in my marriage. I'm not sure about Marcie, but when I say something, he's often thinking that he's done something wrong again, which blocks him to hear what I am saying. So I can give you an example. One time many years ago, knowing my language was strong, I said to him, maybe we should clean the garage this weekend. And he looked angry. And I asked him what he heard. And he came back with, you get out there and you clean that garage. I didn't say that. So I do see that for him, and not, again, everyone's different, but I do see him thinking, because he procrastinates, that that's what I'm going to say, but it's not. Not wanting to deal with conflict, kind of, can we put it under the carpet? And saying, can't say no and taking on too much. And again, there's a responsibility to the other types to make sure that you're not putting too much on them when you know that they're there to help you and give and then take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. That's not fair.
That's not fair. Okay, moving on to the greens. So their strengths, there's that determination. They're going to work hard on things, and especially, again, with interest.
Absolutely, that's key.
Yes.
That is absolutely key. Interest.
Yeah. And global and strategic thinking, and you talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, global, what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely.
So drawing insightful conclusions from complex information, the big picture, right? And I'll finish this one, and I'll let you talk. Systematic and a logical approach. I think you've talked about that a bit, but you want to talk to that?
So for me, with the high green, like you said, being interested is critical. It's like and then I want to know everything about it as much as I can learn, because again, it goes back to that competence and that knowledge. It kind of layers on everything. I don't like details. I like to see the big picture. How can we make that happen? How can we? But in that, I lose sense of people. So that's where lots of times the blues can kind of feel like maybe I'm ignoring them, or I'm not valuing what they have to say and stuff because I'm kind of out there a little bit. But it has to be logical. Again, it's like that one student in Peggy's class. I'll let you tell that story, because that to me is that I need a tattoo with that, because it is bang on.
So in Myers-Briggs, one of the questions we ask, and when we're working on, the only dichotomy in Myers-Briggs we're working on is thinking or feeling. So the question comes, could you work without harmony or logic? And this bright young man said to me, well, there is no harmony if there's no logic. And I'm like, oh, I just thought so
profound,
right? And it's true for anybody who's using this dichotomy for their problem solving.
Because if it's not logical, I feel lost. I absolutely feel lost, which doesn't mean I have to agree with it. That's really important, I think, to understand. I don't have to agree, but if I can understand how you got from point A to point B, I can respect that.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to jump on board. When we talk about them having the information, the big picture, if I go to the green, even they're my customer or the salesperson, I'm just like, just do this. It's like, well, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
They're probably not going to do it.
Yeah. So as a customer, right, what I want is I want to know that the salesperson coming to me knows what they're talking about.
Yes.
That can answer my questions. That I personally don't buy a lot of things that require a lot of research. Like, I don't buy TVs, I don't buy stereos, I don't buy cars, that you typically would do research and do comparisons and things like that. I typically don't do that. But if I go somewhere and I say, I want this, I want them to go, oh yeah, we have that down aisle, blah, 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 and things like that. I want them to know what they're talking about, because if they don't, I just get frustrated and I just walk away.
Yeah, so again, if you're not agreeing and you think you're gonna upload them by telling them stories, you're gonna lose a sale. You need your, just say, I don't know. I will find out.
Absolutely.
I will go, yeah, I will go find out.
100%, and then do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of the don't waste my time. I'm not here for fluff. I'm here to spend money. I'm here for whatever. But don't just waste my time.
Don't try to bullshit me.
Yeah, no, because I will walk out just on that principle.
Yeah.
Done.
That incompetency.
Yeah. If I think you or your organization is incompetent, I'm tagging out.
So then we talked a little bit about the weakness and liability. It's the perfectionist. If they can't do it perfect, they may not do it at all. So again, I often talk about people who restore cars or whatever it is they're doing. And I'll see it even in decorating. Like sometimes I'll go to my green sister's house and all her pictures are on the floor. And I'm like, well, why don't you hang them? Well, I don't know where I want them. We'll just hang it. We can move it later. That's an orange. But yeah, that's not their idea of fun. Caught up in too many ideas, having way too many. Yeah, we just went through that one.
Oh my gosh. I moved this fall, and a couple days after I moved in, Peggy comes over and there's boxes everywhere. And I'm literally paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I mean, I know I need to pick a box and unpack it. It's not that hard. But it was like I literally paralyzed. And Peggy comes in and she's just, well, just do it. Okay. And we just do it. And within an hour, I can move in my house.
Well, in 10 minutes, you can move in your living room.
Oh, in my living room, yes. Wow.
And I've seen that. And actually what I often do with greens is I say to them, what's step one? Because that's my strength, is knowing those steps.
Yeah.
And then low tolerance of feelings and attitudes and advice of others. Now, again, it doesn't mean they're cold, and that's what people need to recognize. I always talk about Mother Teresa was green. Gold, green, green, gold, not sure which way it went. And Lady Di was blue. So it doesn't mean you're cold-hearted. It's just that when you're problem solving, it's not.
It's a problem.
It's not. Yeah. It's not a feeling.
It's a problem. It's not a feeling. It's, you know, and low tolerance for feelings, because again, I think a lot of times feelings can be very irrational because we are complicated beings. Even myself, I know there are times where I'm feeling a certain way, but in my head I'm going, Sandi, that doesn't make sense. That's not, and I get frustrated with myself. So it's that illogical piece that frustrates me about feelings, and the showing, the, you know, like
being uncomfortable showing emotion.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. I'm not really comfortable showing emotion.
But I'm very, like, I think I'm very huggy. Like, I'm very, you know.
You were.
I was, yeah. I was. So, anyways.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so the last one being the orange. So again, their strengths are that troubleshooting and problem solving. So chances are when I'm shopping, it's because I got a problem and I need a solution. And I know one of my biggest frustrations can be when I go to a box store and I don't know plumbing. I know enough about construction that I don't know how to do it, but I know when it's wrong. And I can't get that person that has that knowledge to help me. And I get frustrated. It's like, please, somebody, I know this can work. Just tell me how. And that's where the green really comes in, and I enjoy that. I'm a direct, I don't know if it's clear to other people. I think it's clear to me, my communication, but it's direct. I make a choice in a minute. I'm decisive and I'm quick to act. And many years ago when I went to buy a car, it was just getting monotonous. I said to the guy, you know, if we don't have this deal done by noon, I'm just done. I don't care if I buy a car today. And I know that sounds crazy, but I got up that morning, decided to buy a car, and I wanted it over by noon. Then I was over it. So, perform well under pressure, actually need the pressure to perform well, and I often see an instinct for opportunity. I see it quick. Marcie, anything to speak on to that one?
Probably most of it is pretty bang on too. I'm a pretty direct communicator. Sometimes I feel like I come off a little bit abrupt. I was talking about this with Sandi the other day, that I always speak my mind, but then my blue sneaks in and then I feel guilty after.
Yeah, I think if we refer to your current situation, we won't say where, but you were a customer somewhere and you weren't getting a lot of this. Like, yes. You weren't getting direct communication, no. There was no problem solving, and you were extremely frustrated, right?
Yeah, I did not enjoy it.
As green too, actually just thinking about green too, I like to browse. As a green, I'm one of those people that I like to walk in and kind of browse, because again, I'm going into that big picture in my head. How can this fit? So as a customer, I need that space. I need that time alone. Exactly. I need that time alone to just let me process this. Let me think about it. How's that going to fit in? Because I don't typically make rash judgments.
True. Yeah.
Right. So I think as a green, that's one thing, that as a customer, if you see them kind of standing back, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm not interested. In fact, it's quite often the opposite.
Right. Yes, you're processing, we're acting. Blues can be pressured sale too, but they're also going to process. They're also going to want that communication. And golds are going to make sure that they've got the best deal, that money, check it out. They've got the most money, but they are not going to buy instantly. So,
and that's where I ran into trouble too with my recent experiences. I had a list of questions that I wanted answers to. This person did not have any of those answers at all. So I checked out. I'm like, okay, I'm done then.
Yeah, you got to watch that. You know, and I can speak to, I'd gone out many years ago, I bought a lease back car. And I went in, and then the guy, I made the deal pretty well, and then he looks at me and he says, well, you can bring your husband in and see if he approves. I walked across the street and bought the same car. Like, I'm paying for it. I'm independent. Yeah, I get that, you know. So it is that quick that you can lose a customer.
And I think too, it's really important to know, to be able to recognize when, like Marcie said, checks out.
Yes.
Because like an orange, in my understanding, an orange will physically leave.
Yeah.
They will check, I'm done, I'm gone, I'm out of here. I'm green orange, so if I check out,
yeah, body language.
right, like you cold, like don't come near me. Whereas if I'm engaged and I'm quiet, that's when it's totally different body language. Blues, I think, they'll express kind of being hurt.
Yes, yeah,
You know,
offended.
yeah, you know, so as a salesperson, being aware of how people check out, because if you're not responding to the way that their needs to be met, everybody will check out.
Yes.
It's just inevitable at a certain point they will check out. So what does that look like for different types?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. So yeah, with the weaknesses, impatient, and that's what Marcie talks about, like, and abstract. You know, went to buy a computer and for the office, and then the guy comes in and he wants to tell me everything that's inside. First of all, you're doing my computer work, so you know what I need. I don't care what's inside. I just want to be able to work for what we have here. So don't give me a lot of detail that I don't think is necessary, because that's my shutdown.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah, I totally can be unprepared, and then I can be tough and harsh. I'm better at that as I mature. Age is better, and I want it now. So ordering online is not really my friend. I like to be able to get my product now. So again, Orange's impulse buy-in, they want it now, so that's good for local businesses. Okay, then again, all 4 types have different values. And we talk about common sense. And I know probably everybody listening to this and everybody has said that person has no common sense. It's different. What is common sense for me is not common sense for the other types. So we'll start with the golds again. It is only common sense that you follow the rules and you're on time. So I gotta tell you, I call a lot of rules stupid. And the gold kind of looks at me and goes, it's a rule. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a dumb rule. Doesn't matter to them. It's a rule. And if the rule needs to be changed, the rule will get changed, but they're gonna follow the rules. So they are the largest population, okay? So the rules are important, and saying that, so is the warranty. So is it Canadian made? Is it a warranty? And then that time factor, it's only common sense if I make an appointment with you that you are gonna be on time. And if you're not on time, they're probably gonna move on. And if you're going to give them a quote and you say you'll be back in 2 days and you don't, they will move on. And history. They'll probably check your history locally. Have they been good? Have they done good customer service? And that's just all really important to them. And again, most population, most money. So you really want to work on it. Yeah. So blues, again, it's that relationship. It's going back, and when you're doing the marketing or whether they walk in the store and you know them personally, they love that. My husband loves that. And he, for his 40 years of construction, he had those relationships. And some of them have maintained, but obviously lots have retired. But he still will go back, preference is to go back to people that he has a relationship with. And bring on, if he's hiring people, to bring on people he has a relationship with.
And that's really important as a salesperson. That's where things, and I know that sales have heard all of this stuff before, but make notes, right? As a salesperson, make notes who they are, who their kids are, what they're interested in, all that kind of stuff, so that when they come back or when I reach out to them, I can engage on that personal level.
Absolutely.
How are your kids? I thought about you the other day when, and be authentic about it too.
Yes, absolutely.
And, because
find a common ground.
That's right, because a blue can absolutely sense when you're snowing that part of them.
Absolutely, the body language.
Yeah.
Hi, and when they say hi, how are you?
Yeah.
They mean it. So when you say hi, how are you? Be prepared to listen. So, okay, the blues. So greens, logic and processing. That is common sense. And you've talked a bit about that. Do you have anything to add?
I don't think so. Like I said, it's just the steps. How does it get there? It's pretty.
I think too, when greens, Greens have done their research usually when they go in, or like you say, you do it there. But I think it goes back to that competency. Know your stuff. And don't feel bad if you don't. For that matter, just pass it on.
Like I respect when somebody says, I don't know.
Yes.
As a green, again, like I said, I don't expect to know everything. And when I don't know it, it doesn't bother me. Again, it's not personal. It doesn't bother me to say, oh gosh, I don't know that. I've never thought of it that way. Whatever. And then I'll go out and find out. So as a green, if a salesperson says to me, oh, I don't know, kudos to you for being honest.
Right. Now go find out.
Yeah, exactly. Run along.
Yeah. And the common sense is for the orange action, and it's like, just do it. You know, it's like, if I come to you, I think I should tell my customer story.
Yeah. Oh, funny. What?
So I go, and again, here's my instant buy. I open the flyer up in the morning. I see this thing I want and need. So I go to the store. And they said to me, yes, we have two. Go to seasonal. So I go to seasonal. And he says, I said, I want to buy this. Show the picture. And he says to me, well, you can't. I said, what? He said, well, it's not put together. And I'm like, oh, you'll put it together for me? No, we don't put it together for you. I'm like, okay, then why can't I buy it? Because it's not put together. I'm like, can I talk to your manager? Because I don't live on, we're on different planets.
Who's on first?
Yeah. So the manager comes along and says, yes, we have it, but you can't buy it. I'm like, what are you guys talking
And
about?
you have two.
Yeah.
They have two.
Here's the picture. You're not going to put it together for me. So you're going to put one together, and then there's going to be one to buy. But I can't buy that today, and you're not going to put it together for me. So,
because the display hasn't been built.
Right. So I did end up getting it. And then I get to my car, and I'm like, I'm going to make it. And I did. I really should have walked away. But boy, I'll tell you, that was, I want it now, and there was no logic. It was insane. Like, I just thought.
But the rules, there again, right? The rules was for that organization, the display has to be built before you can sell it.
Right.
So that salesperson was going by the rules.
Oh, yeah, too.
That's
Once
right.
they built it, there was one left.
That's right. Then you could buy it. But you couldn't buy it before the display was built.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make, again,
No.
it's not logical in my,
Right. Mine too.
but for that other person, it was very logical because those are the rules.
Right. Yeah. And so some rules are important.
Some aren't.
some are different. Okay. So that's the common sense. So the needs, this one's interesting. I'm sure almost everybody has said to somebody, especially your husband, wife, mate, partner, kids, you should know what I need. That's not accurate. And the needs are very different. And that's one of the things that breaks down companies, relationships, because if I don't need it, I'm probably not giving it. And I'm unaware that you need it. So it's important for you to know your needs as well as it is for the person working with you. So again, the goals, they need that security, that stability, that order and a plan. So I actually knew a person who bought all their vehicles locally and for years, and the whole family. And then I think it was a day or a week that something went wrong with one of the vehicles and the warranty was expired like very little time. That company decided not to honor it. Yeah, they took their vehicle sales out of this city and went to another city. Stability, honoring that security, right? You know, most people would just go, I think it was $100 part or something too. It was crazy. But that's how quick you could lose a complete deal by not looking at that security, stability for them. Again, the needs for the blues is compliments, pat on the back, good job. And not, you know, because they self-doubt. So that just helps them stay on track. Good job, way to go. That's what I needed, thank you. Things like that will keep them motivated. For the greens, they need the knowledge and the competency. And again, we talked about it. They need to know you know. And the orange, I need results and immediate feedback. If you didn't like something I did as a coworker, or even if it was somebody coming at me from something I purchased, you need to give me that feedback today, because if you wait a week, I probably forgot it even happened. I know that's crazy, but I live in the now. And Marcie, can you relate to that? Moving on, like losing, if people need to give you feedback, it needs to be now.
Yeah, I prefer that because I sort of like that immediate feedback, and then I can either adjust what I'm doing or move on or
Right.
disregard it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Tell me now, and then we'll move on. So, anything you want to comment on that?
Oh, excuse me. I don't think so. I think it's good to recognize you can work in teams.
Yes.
As sales, because I think about us with our customer service when we would work in classes, and our customer service was workshops and training people, and part of that is, again, the personal growth and the challenge. So Peggy being the freight train, the orange, the in your face, the, you know, trying to get people to think about things different way, depending on how they reacted, particularly again, the blues, lots of times they would be hurt, scared, offended, whatever. Then they would come to me as the green, and we would work it out. Yeah. We would solve the problem. I would take that emotion out. I would listen to them. I would let them feel their emotions genuinely, and then we would take a breath and we would fix it. And it works well when you can recognize the strengths in your coworkers as co-salesmen, right? To, you know, like if a customer comes in and wants, a green comes in and wants all the information, and maybe you don't have it all, you know what? I'll go get somebody that can help you with that. That would be, you know, go get a coworker that knows all that stuff. Because as a green, I would respect that.
Yeah, and prior to, in my old job at Community Employment Services, we had a lot of blues who did exactly the same thing. Now those two are opposites, but both of them were able to meet the needs of the people I challenge. And that's what I want to do, is challenge people to grow. So it can be, well, threatening.
Yeah, it can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's factual. It's not, it's not personal again. It'll just be pointing out that you're in control and the facts, and then having that backup. And we also do the leadership with the best practice. And I mean, it would be great if we could all just get there, but that's not the case. So I really encourage people, if my best practice is instant without thinking, then team up in certain situations where you've got somebody who's going to do that thinking. Pass it off. It doesn't make you terrible or awful, it just makes you different. And we all look more competent when we work on our strengths. Okay, so we'll just talk about a little bit about what we need when we do purchasing, or frustration. So,
okay, so the first one was, what are your needs and expectations? I kind of talked about this already. As a customer, when I'm purchasing something, I want to trust the person I'm talking to knows what they're talking about. I want sometimes it's interesting because sometimes I'll know in advance and I'll come in and act like I don't know,
find out,
to see if that salesperson knows what they're talking about. And which is kind of a little bit of a game, but at the same time it's kind of a test, like how serious. What frustrates me when I'm purchasing something, when somebody, again, like you, talks to me, chirps into my ear, I want that independence. I'll ask you a question, answer it, leave me alone, let me decide.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because anybody who comes on too strong with me, if I come in strong and I know what I want, then I want that person to get me there. But if I come in and I'm kind of exploring and they're right on me, I'm like, give me a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess another thing that frustrates me too is when somebody doesn't acknowledge.
Yes. I think that's the worst trait. And that all colors can acknowledge.
Exactly.
Make eye contact, say hi. Yeah. Okay, well, just quickly, we've got like 10 more minutes, and then if there's questions, but I'll kind of give you an idea of what their need, each color's need and expectations are, and how to gain their cooperation. So when we start with the gold again, being the punctual, having viable options when things go wrong, know the solutions, keep your promises. If you give a quote or you tell them something and they come back and it's not there, they're moving on. make sure things are clear, and state the deadline, the warranty, and they're going to ask about the warranty. It's going to be hugely important to them. So they need the rules, the ordinance, the structure, tradition, and they also approve of it. They like status. Okay? So for the blues, how do you get their cooperation? That more personal centered environment. Show interest as a person, which we've talked about. Listen to them. Really listen. Don't act like you're listening. Truly listen. And encourage and ensure them about their decision. Now, you can pressure sale to them, but they'll bring it back when you're gone. So there's no sense in doing that.
And they'll tell other people.
Yes, they will. We went to Mexico once when we went through a timeshare, and the guy was convinced, and my husband would have bought it had I not been there. I knew we were never buying it. I went for the $100 and the booze. So anyway, the guy was so upset that we wouldn't buy it. I mean, he wouldn't give us a ride back to our resort. Oh, it was awful.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, I know you can pressure sale to them, but what good is it, right? So again, connect on that level of human, be enthusiastic, communicate with them, they'll value that. For the green, again, know those facts, make sure you know what you're talking about, provide time for them to do that research as you've talked about. They're going to want to know that big picture, so communicate that. This one really resonated with you in every avenue, is allow them to discover things rather than tell them. Let them explore the whys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And understand the need for information and time. So, and again, I think one of the things, if I look at the hairdresser, and I've always really wanted to get into the hairdressing industry to help them improve. But if you look at the gold hairdresser, it's going to be about that time factor, being on time, and the customer. The blue is going to have those personal relationship. The green's coming in, they're not looking for a friend, they're looking for, let's get the hair done. And as an orange, I'm the same, in and out. When I found a fast hairdresser, I've been with her ever since.
She talks about, oh my God,
So fast.
she's the best.
Yeah, I used to have one that let me go home with oil in my hair. But I guess that's against the rules. Okay, and then the last one with the oranges. Limit, control, and details. Get to the point. Be direct and honest, because they'll call you on it. Realize they live in the here and now. So when you say to me, you can have 25-year warranty on this carpet, I'm like, I'm not having a carpet for 25 years. That warranty means nothing to me. That is not a selling feature.
But we can deliver it this afternoon.
That's right. That means something. The humor and fun, they're probably gonna say things that are funny and laugh at their jokes and get to the point. So it's about spontaneous action right now in the moment. They like competition, variety. So, okay. Questions or comments? I could talk about this yet. I'll just give Marcie a minute. So yeah, and again, language, words mean different things all the time. Clarify. When I say something and you're not sure you understand, ask me what that word means to me. So I use the example here of security. And when golds talk about security, it's usually financial. Blues, it's relationships. Greens, it's knowledge. And oranges think it's confinement. And the other one I talk about is respect. You know, that person had no respect for me. Recognize it means different things. Again, to gold, it's following the rules, that time thing. For blues, it's being kind, please, thank you, helping others. For greens, it's privacy, giving them time and independence. And for orange, it's brutal honesty. So I truly say to people now, do you want the truth or do you want to feel good? And if they feel good, I will lie. And I think the people that know me well, if they come for my opinion, they know they're going to get it.
Yeah, don't even have to ask.
No. So basically, it should help us appreciate others, and hopefully that you start to identify what's important to them. What's their common sense? What are their values? What are the things that are going to push them out the door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's Mr. Gold? Marcie, any questions?
No, there aren't really any questions. Wes just said the Golds would love the warranty as well.
That they like?
Of the quarantine.
The warranty. Yeah. Here's the financing and warranty options. Or what are they, rather?
Okay, so if PD offers a lot of different ways to do it. We obviously can do it in a workplace. We can do many different things, conflict, stress, but you can also do it with a family, just the typing itself. My daughter-in-law got it for her birthday one year and invited a bunch of friends, and we did it that way. Couples are hilarious to do. You know, if you get 5 or 10 couples, you know, 5's about the minimum I'd want, but 10 couples, we can laugh all night.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah, I've done it at Christmas parties, and the Christmas parties have changed over the years. And this company, it was the longest Christmas party they had because people really had something to connect on. So if you're finding your Christmas parties are getting a little, according to an orange, yeah, repetitive is the right word, but changing up, it's a great tool for that. Now, please bring me in before the alcohol. I had somebody who brought me in after, and I knew it wasn't going to go well, and I didn't say anything, and it didn't. So, as for Myers-Briggs again, we'll at the end, Marcie will have information that we'll be sending out, and you guys can give us a call. Sandy's marketing. You can call me. I'll probably pass it on. So, so it's not an excuse for bad behavior. It's a tool to learn and grow. So use it wisely.
Yeah. So thanks I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit. We're always open for questions. So even if tomorrow or next week you think of something, oh, I should have asked that. Absolutely pick up the phone, shoot us an email, whatever. So yeah.
And it's our emails are all first name with @beamhumanservices.ca. And 2 weeks from now, we're going to do the everything disc conflict. So if you want to actually have an assessment, we don't really run the webinar with them because not everybody would, but you do have the opportunity to purchase a conflict assessment.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah.
Those are like 23 pages. It's really in depth and lots of information.
I went to a small town and I did it with their town group. And after that, all the people got their mates to do it.
Oh,
so I sold to all the couples, and they used them in their personal life as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, is Mike coming back to say goodbye, or?
Yeah, I can come back
There
and
he
say
is.
goodbye. I didn't want to steal anybody's thunder.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, ladies. That was entertaining and informative. And you even kept it in your 90-minute.
Oh, that's right.
Not bad for a bunch of blues. Okay. You guys have a great day. Thanks, everyone. We'll get this up on the Apex site.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.